say it's just wonderful being here. And it's wonderful, although I can't see you all out there. I know you're there. Let me begin by saying, as most of you know, Audre's roots were firmly planted in her African ancestry. And in continuing with that tradition, that of community, I would like to acknowledge certain persons in the audience whom I believe should be honored and who played a particular significant role in my life. I'll do that before I talk about the book. I'd like to honor and thank the presence of New York City's First Lady, Chirlane McCray. I'd also like to honor, when I was at Hampshire College, my colleague was Jill Lewis, and we produced a book called Common Differences, Conflicts in Black and White Feminist Perspectives. And that book is still very relevant today. And Jill Lewis traveled all the way from Hampshire, Massachusetts to be here tonight, so I want to recognize and honor and thank her. And following in the Hampshire tradition, I'd like to honor two of my students. I want to thank Ada Gay for the wonderful tribute she gave me, because Ada, as a teacher, it's rewarding to know that you have, as a teacher, impacted a student the way that you were impacted. That's the rewards of teaching, when you know and see and hear from your students, and that's very fulfilling. I also want to let you know, I don't know if many people know that Ada produced a film called SISSA. SISSA stands for Sisters in South Africa, and it was an organization that I founded, and Audre was a member of on the board of directors for that too, and we collected funds to send to our sisters in South Africa. Ada and I think it was in the 80s, early 80s, we traveled to South Africa. We stayed at the Y in Soweto, and it wasn't until we were leaving, I think about 2 weeks. You see, every night we would finish our filming, and we'd stop by and get a bottle of wine and come up to the Y and enjoy it. As we were leaving, the sign said, "No alcoholic beverages allowed." But Ada traveled around with a huge camera on her shoulder, and it was a really very wonderful film. We met with Winnie Mandela, and Ada has some wonderful pictures in Winnie's office. So it was really, she took us through Shacktown, and it's a video, I still have it, which should be seen and shown, but it's another tribute to the work of Ada Griffin. And the other student that I want to acknowledge is Melinda Goodman. Now, Melinda was very instrumental in this evening's event, and she also was instrumental in hooking me up with the Villarosa Media for the production of the book. So, Linda, thank you. And finally, excuse me, I'd like to pay tribute and honor Blanche and Claire. They're two of Audre's oldest friends, and they're featured in the book. And we traveled together and had a wonderful time in Hawaii. You read about that in the book with the eclipse there. Audre, Blanche, and Claire were so excited about this thing. And I was excited because they were excited, but it really didn't move me that much. They had these glasses and kept jumping out the car and tracking this moon running around the sky. And they had a good time. And now I'll return to the book. I'm not going to do too much with the book. I just want to compare the book to a symphony orchestra, and I'll tell you why. The content of the book, the major contents, are contributions from the contributors. And in my symphony orchestra, the contributors are the instrumentalists. They're playing the violin, the cellos, and the drums, and the saxes. So that's the orchestra. I'm the conductor, moving it, weaving it, getting it all in place, so it will be an enduring melody and hopefully a classic. And the Villarosas are the producers. So you combine those three, and that's how the book came to be, and that's what the book represents when I say it's a symphony orchestra. With the contributors being the orchestra, I am the conductor with my baton, putting it all together, putting the pieces in places, and the producers are the Villarosas. Now, in recognition of time, I'm going to take the baton and bring down one final crescendo and pass the baton on to the next person. Thank you.